We have some of John's games with the Grob and St. George's, which are working really well for you. Okay, so you want to just, this is a 6-move win with the Grob. You want to look at that one?
Yeah, anyone.
Let's flip through it. It probably won't be too much to see, but at least you guys will get a sense of how dangerous it could be. And this is 1189, so they just didn't know the theory, I guess, but who knows the theory against the Grob, right? So they do a natural e5, bishop g2, d6, c4. Interesting. So they actually didn't do the most aggressive thing. Now, often they'll go d5 actually right away to open up the bishop against g4, and then you'll hit them with c4. So same concept. That's interesting. It's like you're playing an extended English fianchetto, right? c4, g3, English. c4, g4, it's a Grob English. The English Grob, interesting. It's like a monster, right? It's like a monster from England. London monster or something. Queen b3, bishop takes g4, king takes b7. So they just resigned at that point. I mean, they're just, well, I don't know about that. It's kind of premature because they did get your, maybe they forgot they won your G pawn. Because then you got their B and C pawn. They do have your G pawn. It's good for you, but it's not over at all, right? They're just like, oh, I gave them my pawns. But I mean, there's nothing better. At least they didn't give you the rook, right? Nothing better than, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, they should have fought
Maybe he
on.
like panicked or something.
What's that?
Maybe he panicked.
Yeah, no, they just didn't like it. Like, oh, you're eating all my pawns. They did win your G pawn, which is a useful pawn to win. Although, yeah, sometimes you'll win the G pawn for a central pawn like the D pawn, which tends to be good. But now black has a little more central space. White has not pushed any central pawns. Pretty hard to castle kingside. So black is fine. Probably computer evaluation isn't that bad. You got to move maybe rook c8 coming, and black is probably okay. It says even. It says minus 0.3. I mean, yeah, black's fine. So I don't know. Yeah, they just like got mad at themselves, maybe like, oh, why did I let that happen? Funny enough, it might be the best move. I don't know, probably like a developing move. Let's see. Knight a6, that's annoying. And then after knight c5, strikes at the queen, then the queen will have to like play queen g3 or something to guard. You don't want to just drop the g pawn for nothing. You want to drop it if you have diagonal. Anyway, that's interesting. They just kind of they blundered by resigning, but they did miss something, I guess. Now this is a St. George's 55 move game, and who won? They ended up winning, and that's a long game right there. Well, they won a bunch of pieces at the end, but I imagine if it went on 55 moves, it was pretty close game, yeah.
I think that was a messy game. Some of them really messy. If you see like 3 or 4 losses in a row, it was just like playing really quick and not thinking much.
Well, let's see. Okay, so this one, okay, you lost this one. You got checkmated. White, yeah, okay. I guess that wasn't your best run, but then you won this one. Oh, that looks nice. Well, let's take a look at your St. George's though. Well, St. George's, it's a long game, and then let's take a look at maybe the win with it. Let's just see. I mean, it's 55 moves. It must be a pretty good game still. Okay. So e4, a6. There's your a6. d4, b5, f3, e6. So it's very interesting. You know, it's similar to stuff I like. Well, it's like with b6 in Owen's defense, right? It's like that, but you have extension. Now, a lot of times, interesting, I was looking at the modern defense, like, you know, modern like g6, d6, kind of like King's Indian setup, but against maybe e4, d4 usually. Now, a lot of times it scores very well to play a6 and b5. Black tends to score out and get a positive score for black. I've seen Carlsen do this and stuff. Same setup. So rather than playing like a hippo or something, you still fianchetto both by extended fianchettos. It's a very interesting system. It's actually pretty. I'll open up. I'll see how much has been played in the opening book. We actually have a win for black. Similar rating around 2300. Black won this. So let's see. The b5. The white in general is scoring pretty well at the master level. Main move. Now, e6 is not your main move. Just simply developing your bishop with tempo makes sense, right? And then the main move is bishop e3, and then e6. So it's probably doesn't matter. But there's your d6 thing, see? You can try this too. Let's see just for a second. White has a good initiative, though. I don't know. So now you're probably fine. Okay. So e6 might be interchangeable. Should be so. So we do have a win, though, here. We are following a win by black. Interesting, and transposes a few games. Got queen f6. So some people went c5 and lost. Knight f6 was the best one. It got an even score. So it's just to give you a sense how that might go. aggressive e5, of course, they'll try that, knight central. But see, that's what I'm talking about with b5. Now, if you had b6, they'd probably go c4. But now you have a kind of an artificial support point. So if they don't have a c pawn, that's an outpost, right? So it's kind of an artificial support point on d5, because if they go c4, well, oh, it says check. But just in general, yeah, it's fine. Takes. Now it's an outpost. See? Against the, yeah. Now it's an outpost. It says you can strike or something, but you have a pretty good game now, right? Only thing to look out for is that you don't have any defenders on your king side. You might even, hey, who knows? You might even move your f pawn. But it's saying strike with this pawn. Well, I'm happy if they take. Very active play, right? That's a nice position. So bishops are great, knights great, supported. So you can see this kind of, that's why it's beneficial to play b5. Helps out. Now, like we saw on the other line, a4 was played to chip at the pawn, which is pretty annoying. Wow. Then it's saying c5, ignore it. Takes the, is that sort of just hanging a pawn? I guess it's like, I don't know. Wait, is that the way to play? Something else that I'm missing. It's saying it wants to go play c5. Okay, I don't know. I don't know why you're gonna have to sack the pawn, but okay. Let's say takes. Okay, they take the rook. Say they take this one. I guess it's active piece play, kind of like a Banco Gambit where you get a b pawn. Excuse me. I don't know about that though.
What is,
Okay.
yeah, what?
It just doesn't seem like it's that great. Okay, let's say, imagine, well, queen takes, bishop c5. Let's say the knight takes. Okay, fine. Attack on the pawn. I don't know. I'm not convinced. Oh, that's hanging. Is that the whole point? Oh, that's the point.
Whoa.
I mean, that doesn't have to happen by any means. Like, okay, yeah, let's say queen a4, hitting the bishop. Okay, knight retreats. There's that bishop opening again. Hey, okay, bishop goes here. Is there any forced thing here? I don't think so. Okay, there's a check. I mean, that's crazy that this is fine. I'd be surprised this is fine. I mean, this is a computer line. Like, then you check and
Yeah,
come
go back, like what?
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, that's a thing, but the fact that it thinks that's even, pretty hard to assess that. Just seems like white's up a pawn, right? White's got an extra b pawn. Okay, oh, that's hanging though. I'm okay, fine. Okay, fine.
Little activity.
Yeah, I just like piece activity, but white is up a pawn. It's not 100% clear that you have enough for it. And queen takes too. But again, anytime they go, I mean, we'll just go bishop c5, wouldn't you? Wow. Yeah, but you could see the baron king side here. So it's pretty uncomfortable, the castle. I don't know. That's kind of weird to me. But that means that a4 is strong. What it's saying is you should let them take and then get some initiative. I guess what it's saying is that, well, I don't know. If you think about it, now that a4 has been played, it's sort of an artificial support. We've looked at this on the other side of the board. It's sort of I think we have it's like an artificial support point to the extent that c4 will allow knight b4. So it's, you get one or the other as an outpost. I think d5 is preferable to b4. Unless you're like an anchor and a knight. Okay, you can hold the pawn now. I don't know. But let's say the natural move, let's say take back. Tempo, sure. But now it's saying, funny enough, it's saying the evaluation is worse than when you're down a pawn. Or similar. I don't know. The computer comes up with some funky stuff here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But point is, I do think that a4 is a good move, and that's the main drawback of b5. A strong player will probably hit you with a4, make you a little uncomfortable, right? Trying to demolish your pawns a little bit on the queen. So kind of ready-made play. White has more center, but you just got to deal with it. And hey, keep that in mind. It's an interesting idea. You might be able to sack for activity. Now, apparently, I hate this move. Why does I hate this move? Let's move away. Let's try to figure this out. Okay, now that we're well out of the opening, I'm gonna move away from the, I'll home in on this, move away from the, yeah, just keep like that. Okay, so what do you think? Why is this so bad?
Bishop?
Because White's got e5 maybe.
e5 / bishop g5. e5 might allow bishop takes f3 with complications. No, I don't think so. No, what's better, e5 or bishop g5?
I like bishop g5.
Yeah, how about bishop g5, then maybe e5?
Well, yeah, because if you go e5, then the queen has to retreat one or two moves here.
Right.
There's nothing else. And then there's, I mean, here, then you have to play f6. It's really not that bad, I think. It's not that bad at all. You can castle. I mean, it's uncomfortable, but it's probably fine. Maybe you can also go here, completely undeveloped. Then you go here, that's not that bad either. I'll mute. Yeah, I was gonna mute you because I heard random, probably a dog. So that wasn't that. Don't worry, it wasn't that bad.
No, it's construction.
It's what?
It's construction.
Construction?
Yeah.
Oh, there's some. Oh, I see. It's
Sorry
either
about that.
construction or a dog moaning. Okay. So yeah, basically, John, you bring out your queen early, which is risky. In this case, it's very concretely exploited by bishop g5.
Yeah, I usually bring out the knight, but I think he was just doing moves that I wasn't familiar with, and so I brought the queen out.
Well, how bad is it? Let's see. How bad is this? I don't think you're actually. I mean, it's just uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. E5 here, maybe a3 or something. I don't think you're losing your queen though. Is that? Yeah, is that the best line for them? It's saying not even e5. It's saying bishop. I see a bishop g5. Oh, it's saying not even bishop g5 either. Now it is. Okay. Just to get a sense, especially a computer is very useful in these situations. So it's saying not even e5 because that does allow queen h5. Oh, it allows bishop e4. Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
was-
And that's not that big of a deal, right? You saw that. It's saying knight b2 first.
Also,
But now e5 isn't possible because of this hanging, and knight h4 is not possible. So like you don't lose your queen. It's just super uncomfortable. It's just not necessary. What's that, Todd?
if you go back a few moves, yeah, now bring the bishop to g5. And then if white pushes the e pawn, maybe bishop takes knight and you win a
Actually, it doesn't work, I think. So bishop e4 is the move. This doesn't work. Why not? Don't, oh, wait. No, it loses something. I think it loses something, maybe. It's worth looking at. We have to analyze this. So what do you think I'm looking at, though? Bishop takes, queen takes. What can white do next? Queen's hanging.
bishop takes queen.
So you take the knight. Queen takes back on f3. Yeah, if they take on
And then
g6.
you go queen
Yeah, I think
takes,
you win a
takes
piece, and
d2.
you win a piece here because you take first. I think you win a piece. Yeah, you just win a piece, or they'll do a desperado, let's say. Piece for a pawn or something. Because you took the piece first. They would take with the queen, and then what'd you say, Todd? What's the idea there? It's John's favorite idea with white.
Queen takes the g bishop.
And then what's white do?
I don't know.
What do you see? What is what?
White's got,
Again, I'm not 100% sure that it works.
I would say white's got a castle because
Well, then they're just losing the bishop. They have to do something.
Take the rook.
The rook's hanging. But then there's a check. It's a little murky.
got
Wait, what is going on? But then this is hanging. Wait, we have to analyze this. The check. There's no more check. Oh, there is a check. But then this doesn't do much. And then this is gonna fall. Ouch. So now we have, if you take this one.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. All right. So we have, yeah, this is just a mess. I mean, this is like way beyond the game, but then this falls. That can't be good.
how about and then queen takes the g pawn maybe.
Well, now it's white to move. 3, 4.
Oh yeah, right.
Hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This is a mess. 3, 4, 4 pieces each. What is going on? Was that the best line? I feel there's something else. It says white's winning with A4 again, unleashing the rook. Oh no. But this king is obviously very. This king is safer. I mean, the king is stalemated on E7. That's weird. Very weird position. Equal material. Says A4 is winning. Queen goes back to C1, sure. What is going on? Guard the pawn. But you see white's safer here. And they have more development. I
Yeah,
mean,
but,
that's not really developed. But the queen isn't doing anything here. At least our queen, or no, white's queen. Well, we want to have white's position here. What's that?
but what if you bring it back 2 or 3 moves and then the queen?
Yeah, let's see. Wait, there might have been something better. But yeah, basically this is the good move. White's still better.
Yeah,
This is worse. Takes, and then assuming queen c1. I think it's just queen c1 doesn't do anything. But then you're down in exchange, which is bad, and you're undeveloping. But if you go, do we miss something? I think we found the best line that we have if you go for the rook takes. Yeah, this is all forced. That's the line we looked at. Queen c1,
But
k2.
instead of queen to c1, how about queen takes the g pawn?
Okay. Probably they just break through on the queen side. Well, they have to watch out for this. You kind of have to take. Then they get mated, maybe. That's bad. Yeah, the queen has to give herself up. Yeah, that's bad. Too much danger in there.
Okay.
So anyway, point is, queen f6 is dangerous. So all you got to do, John, maybe just let's see here. How do you fight here? I mean, the computer, of course, likes white because the center is comfortable. But we got to, yeah, that's where b5 is interesting, but it's more exposed. You see that a4 move. Keep in mind, if you're playing against this, always go for a4. Watch out for that. But let's just say you do something normal. Oh, we looked at this, and this is playable. You know, it's not great, but it's certainly playable. Get your c5 break in, get your activity. I don't mind having black here. The only thing I mentioned that's a problem is your king side's kind of barren. So what I would try to do is play f5 to block the bishop. Let's see, for example. Yeah, someone did that in one, actually. Look at this. They had the same thing in mind. Because take on passant, the knight could come back, or the queen. Maybe the queen develops now. The knight could take back, opening these pieces up. That was kind of scary, but okay. Doesn't actually do anything yet. Hey, a4 again. There's a4 again. You see it, okay, it just messes with us a little bit. And now there's that does look a little scary. So again, even though the knight came back, like, yeah, we might want to kick the knight out. And then just sack a piece now. You take, that's a bit, that's hanging, it's not a sack. I thought they were going to come to the king side.
I work on those tactics. I didn't
Hey,
see
what
that.
is going on? What's that?
I didn't see any of this. Wow. Just
No,
like,
it's just, I mean, it's really fast. It's just a sample.
Yeah.
These are just sample. I mean, I don't know why I'm using the computer so much, but yeah, point, it just gives us a sense that f5 doesn't really work. But someone did this, and they did not take on passant, and then black is probably doing well. That's what they want. Hey, black might even attack, but black can certainly just, castle. But you see the difference with this pawn here. It shuts down the bishops. There's no that kind of attack on h7. And yeah, you can castle. Oh, they did do a4. They took it because they didn't want to deal with it. It's funny how often it's this theme. And then they castled the king. And a 2400 beat a 2300. It's like an IM versus an FM kind of thing. And then, yeah, black's just super comfortable. Same exact thing, but f5. Like I said, f5 is inserted, which shuts down the bishop. They should have taken on passant. This could be a target, too, in the future, the e-pawn. So anyway, and now that rook lift would have been very dangerous, that rook lift with the bishop here and the knight here. So anyway, as for your game. So, no, we're going back to this, right? Just that's problematic. But let's see if you can. Maybe that's just the whole problem. I think that might just be your whole problem. Yeah. We don't have to look at too much because you said, it just didn't go that great. And you just lost material. And then you kind of just tried something. Yeah, I think the main lesson is in the opening. It's a tricky opening to play. Wait, what? Okay, we're back in the game. Just hung the bishop. Maybe they meant to take the knight. I have no idea. But anyway, this didn't go well up to this point. But now it's a new game. It's a completely new game. And wait. Wait, what? This is okay to play? How is this? Wait, what's going on? Oh, because they're up so much. what is going on? I have no idea why they can play. So they have to try knight g4, but still. I mean, basically there's, oh, wait, my bad. You're up 2 pieces because they're up 2 pieces because you sacked your bishop on g2. So it's like they're up 3 points because they still have an extra piece. But like, of course, they should just not do something crazy and just go queen h5. Or no, not even queen h5. I mean, can't you just now go knight g4? I mean, you can do a lot of things. This is a normal move. Takes, maybe get the queen out, finish the development, and white's up 2 pieces, winning position. So anyway, I don't think I have to look at too much more on this one, John. Why don't we look at the, yeah, and then you're just losing too much material. But hey, who knows? Maybe they botch it again. No, I mean, but yeah, it's just a mess. They hung pieces, and you're still, you actually are you up a pawn now? You have 2 pawns now. You actually end up doing really well. And then you hung your knight. No, my bad. What am I thinking? Yeah, you sort of, well, they can, no, you didn't hang your knight because it's pinned. They unpin it and they skewer you. A lot of tactics. Then you come here. Yeah, maybe it's just not enough. You try and,
Oh,
no, it's interesting. Probably they take with the queen. And they just deal with everything. But maybe what you do is you can just go like this and try to trap the bishop, and they can't take the knight because there's another pin. So anyway, but yeah, I think that's, and then, yeah, but it was just a sloppy game. It was like you guys both lost some pieces, but it's kind of interesting that they gave it. You shouldn't resign. Your opponent resigned. You chose not to resign. You fought on. Okay, now you're in trouble again. But the point is, you had another shot at some point. The knight getting pinned. Where's your final chance? Hey, who knows? There might be one more. Pretty much is not to go knight here, but instead to go. You have to find that. That's a pretty hard move to find. But you can probably also just do something normal like develop. Then you put more pressure on the pin. You might. What if you play c6? That's okay. It's not ideal, but hey, you're up 2 pawns, right? So now this time you're up. Now you're up 1 pawn at this point. Yeah. Okay. So you got to deal with bishop e4 though. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's take a look at just your win real quick. Okay, where is your win? We were looking at, I don't know why it doesn't say anything here. Oh, it's a casual game, so it doesn't, that's why. So you have, where was your win with?
Looking for
There's your
St. George.
black, and there.
yeah, that
Okay,
one.
let's see if St. George that wins. So that's the one we looked at, the thumbnail. You want to see that real quick? And then we'll look at Nikki's.
Yeah, I like that. I want to look at this one.
So we'll see St. George's that wins. It's a pretty cool opening. I mean, it's obviously
That's
controversial,
okay.
but I mean, what's that?
Okay, now I understand. So it's a6 b5 and then
Yeah, you don't have
c5.
to play. No, it's just a6. Like
Okay.
you don't have to play. And by the way, let's say you're playing white and you play a3 on the first move. It looks horrendous. So let's say go e5, then you can play c4, and it's actually a pretty normal line of the English. So I think Leia had to go. Yeah.
Bye,
So
Leah.
so yeah, it's just like a line of the English. Like it's like a black goes c5 a6, right? So let's say funny enough would be reversed Najdorf, right? So knight f6, knight c3 is the main move, and white scores a tad better. I mean, it's not great, right? But hey, if you love to play the Najdorf, you can play Najdorf reversed. You can play a dragon reversed. Knight f3 is like it's the main move, and then we take our pick. But queen c2 actually scores pretty well. Computer says even, but it's like a reverse Sicilian, right? It's a reversed open. Anyway, that's what you can do in some cases. So maybe with black would be somehow getting back to a Sicilian. If you like, again, this could literally happen. Let's say it's transposing after c5, and then d4 takes, knight f6, knight c3, and now there's that e5 thing without knight b5. Interesting. What is this? Oh, that's great. We get a pin in. Anyway, yeah. So you can see it has sort of transpositional value. b5 is the main move. But you can also, John, what'd you play? You played it first. It looks like if you want, you can play with e6 first, and here it scores better. It's not, see, this is less committal. I mean, you'll play whenever you want, but you don't need it. But it's like, hey, if you're going to do it, just do it. I get it. But let's take a quick look at what you could do if you want. Let's say they go c4, though. See, now they make it hard. But hey, black scores well. What do we do here? Then we hit him with, look at that score right there. Let's see why this is so good. It's pretty normal position with the a6 inclusion. Funny that black actually scores better. Just 'cause wait, what if they take with this pawn? Wow, it's 2 out of 3 wins. And then e5 lost both times after. Weird. So it's like some sort of French, but it's been like a exchange with a6 included. It's just a strange. It's like kind of bizarre, but so knight c3 takes. This happened once. 25. Well, just outplayed him. Higher ranked player trying to like throw off their opponent, basically, right? So getting into a bizarre line, like throw off low ranked opponent, and then they're just gonna outplay them, basically. But suddenly black is fine. See, what's the result? Black is just doing pretty well, right? And then they have pressure on the D pawn. And they have, yeah, it's very interesting. So anyway, guys, you don't have point is you don't have to play b5 right away.
Okay.
So, oh, that's interesting. Wait, they didn't. So let's go back here. They did not defend the e pawn. That's your idea, right? So what should you do here when they take your b pawn? Well, you could
Oh,
take
you know
back.
what? Yeah, this guy just he pushed all his pawns. It was a crazy.
But I think you're like anticipating you would go e6, and you maybe did it too quickly. And you made the move pretty quickly. 12-minute game, you went from 11:33 to 22, so you spent 11 seconds on it. Interesting, David Smearden. I just saw him earlier too. I saw him at the game earlier. I think he's Australian. He wrote about the Scandinavian with knight f6 in the book on that, I think. It takes, yeah, just take the pawn, right? And you're doing well. That's the idea. You give away that pawn. It's kind of like a Grob sort of thing where your bishop gets this pawn or this pawn. It's like the other way around, right? So it's like you're hitting with the B pawn instead of the G pawn. You're getting that diagonal, right? Similar themes in a way. Yeah, just take the pawn, right, John?
Yep.
This will be St. John's version. Your own variations. Not this variation. You have your own signature style. So e5 of the St. George's takes. That was back. Okay, bishop takes g2. Well, then, yeah, there you go again. So here's your opponent hanging their B/G pawn. But it's funny, you have like your system in a way, right? And no matter what they do, you just play either through the queen side or the king side, and it's somewhat, they have their own flavor, but you have certain similarities, right? Then they lose again. Let's see if something happens. It could still get messy. Or you can look at the evaluation and see if it shifted at all, or if you just kept it smooth. Oh, I'm not signed it. I can't request an analysis. Oh, wait. And you could take the knight, that kind of thing, where you take first and the knight defends the bishop. Same exact concept. Wait, what? It's the same thing with the rook in the corner. This works, though? Okay, we have to analyze this. Wait. No, this is weird. I don't know. You don't have to do that. Wait, what'd you do? Yeah, look, it says minus 8.6. This is minus 8.1. You kept it simple, human. Only have 11 minutes. You don't need to think for too long. But the computer move is to do this insane line. Because again, if they take, you take, they take, you just won yourself a piece. Now you're already up a rook. So let's see, takes, and then you have like what, queen c1 check again? This time you could take the b2 pawn with check. Oh, then you take the bishop guarding the knight. That's insane. And then they have rook b1. Oh, it's with check. They don't have time for rook b1 to win this one. In which case you'd be toast because they'd have here check, king up, and mate. But they don't have time. And then you can save your position with, it's just a mess. Like, this is kind of a computer line. It's concrete calculation. And now if they go rook b1, yeah, I guess you probably have to give them the bishop back now. It's just insane. And then you can fork them. Wow. Okay, so you could do that, or you could just keep your extra rook and go queen, which is the practical choice. Then they hung the knight, which you not take, but you forked these two guys, so you still win the piece anyway. And they could take on d7 as a desperado, but yeah, they're losing everything now. So there you go. And then we'll just take a quick look to see how you finish them up. And yeah, everything falls, and that's why you had a bunch of pieces checkmating them. Yeah. Here, let's see. I'd probably just get this guy out. Also, get this guy out quickly, right? That's quibble. It doesn't matter. Yeah, then you do it anyway. Beautiful knight on the f5. You get that guy. Come in, sure. Bring out your other, let's get the other rook in the game. Oh, you don't take it. You don't need to drop your knight in the corner. Sure. Now you take because he's not threatening it. And you'll get the other rook out and you'll set up a mating attack. You don't even need to mess around with your knight, you know. Oh, you can cut him off like that and then you catch him in the middle. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
But you don't need to mess around with your knight. I mean, if I'm looking at this briefly, of course, I'm just going to go out here. And oh, you still mate in 2 moves. Check, and you can mate them in the middle again, or you can get your ladder mate, and the knight nicely guards this. It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's a good game. It's funny that like the pattern's the same from the other one.
Yeah, as I'm saying, exactly. You mean in the other St. George's or the Grob?
The Grob one, right?
Yeah,
Like the same thing, but like in that one, I think White had it though, right? Like White had the extra move or something. Like the extra
yeah. And they
taking
went C4, and this one is slightly different with C4. But yeah, you could have taken on E4 for sure. Slightly different, but did they end up playing A4 in the other game? I think we saw so many versions with A4. I'm not sure if your opponent actually played A4. I think they did, right?
Yeah, no, I might be confused.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, so okay, this is St. John's version of St. George's defense. You can have like this would be like your sub line or something of this would be your sideline of the obscure opening, right?
Yeah,
John's special
the
version.
Grob and St. George's, they're both really messy games, but and I'm still
I mean,
learning.
no, I mean this is St.
things out.
George's, but we have John's specific line within the St. George's, which I guess
Both a line.
is a special way of playing it. Although, yeah, but just take this guy, take E4. But hey, it's working out really well for you, and it's interesting. One of my students at the Gothic Chess showed playing against a okay, so let's say here playing against the Queen's Gambit with A6. So for example, it would be like E6 now, and then let's see, it transposes now. It's been played a lot. So for example, let's say I don't know, E3, and then look at that, and there's Black scoring well with the inclusion of A6. That's fascinating, isn't it? How good A6 can be. It's completely legit to do it. It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like this little house roof setup we looked at before, right?
It's like a psychological edge too, because you think, what the heck, like, like what is this? Like, why would you start with a side pawn?
Yeah, it's kind of like some stuff with C5 and trade, hit the bishop. I mean, it stops knight B5 in some lines. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's inherently better. I mean, yeah, like after C5, okay, let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's scoring better for black here. Where probably it's scoring better for black if white does the wrong thing. Knight F6. Okay, well, B3 just happens to be a really good move. Okay, let's say he does something very natural, like knight C3 scores better for black. Why? Okay, main move is takes. I mean, at least they're equalizing. Maybe it's also sometimes like strong players know certain lines, so you're kind of it's what's the word? It's attributable to something else, right? Or it's like, or what's the word? There's some noise there. It's like it's not because of the opening moves themselves; it's because of who plays the opening moves. Like let's say there's some obscure opening that some strong players read about in Chess Informant, some like advanced magazine or something. You know what I mean? So that could be a proxy. It could be a proxy for something else. Like what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So A4. Now we have a version of the Queen's Gambit accepted with knight C6 to A5. Oh wait, that's if they don't take. For example, yeah, that's if they don't take. It's a different move order where the knight goes here. Yeah, not that version. But yeah, it says takes. What if they just take with the bishop? Now we have C5, E5. I mean B5, C5 if you want. You might bishop B7 too. And look at that. And I remember this in the Queen's Gambit accepted. We've transposed into Queen's Gambit accepted now. And you can play C5, of course, if you want to, which is the main move. And black pretty much is equalized, right? Black's fine. Okay, so let's take a look at your game, Nikki. Is that helpful, John?
Yep, thanks.
Yeah. All right, Nikki.
Okay, I emailed it to you.
Okay. Hopefully it's open right now. I don't think my email's open. Maybe mind setting it instead in the chat.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Oh, if you have it handy.
Let me see how I could do this. Let me check my email. Might take me a minute because I'm very computer not savvy. All right.
Okay, hold on. Well, let me just double check. Let me
Okay.
pause share. Let me pause share. I may have it open, but I have like this thing that deletes cookies all every time I go in, which just it just logs me out every time, which for better or for worse.
It might not take as long as I thought. So let me see.
I'm
Send.
logging in now, but do you have it ready? Otherwise, if you have the game, you can paste it in real quick. Otherwise, I'll go to email.
I have it. I'll just do
Okay.
it.
Okay, that's quicker.
You just do the game, or do I do the fen thing?
Just do the game. Yeah, the link to the game. You can just link it to the game, or you can send me the PGN, whereas the FEN or FEN would be the position, given
Oh,
position, which
okay.
is
I
kind of
was
cool
gonna send you the
because
whole
you can,
thing. I don't know what it exactly is. I'm just gonna copy paste it because
yeah, just do the whole thing. It's interesting. What I realized you could do is you could take the FEN or whatever, and you can paste that like from a 960 position or from a given position, and then you have the notation from there going forward.
Oh,
So you
okay.
can have something like an animation or whatever, like on chess.com, you make a GIF, or is it a GIF?
Do you want me
Yeah,
to do
you
that?
can have anyway. You can have it going from a particular position. No, just have me. I just have me the whole thing, PGN,
Okay.
and then I'll copy and paste it.
Okay.
Plug it. I will plug it. But yeah, those are cool games, John. I like how you're messing around with this and it's working well for you. And then you said you're gonna explore some other openings too, right? That's good.
Uh-oh, I lost everybody. What did I do?
Oh, we're in here somewhere.
Oh yeah, there you are. Okay. Too
Um,
many windows open. All right.
learn. Okay, I'm going to tools analysis board.
Back here.
Unless you want to make it a study, you can always make it. But anyway, let's just jump into it. You can always make it a study if you want. And then whatever analysis I do on it will be saved. But it's up to you if you already have it handy.
Yeah, it's in there. It's in the chat, but I don't know if I did it right. It's just a
Let's
big
see.
blob.
Chat. I don't see it in the chat. Meeting chat.
Oh, okay. I'll send it directly to you.
Okay, that was great. All I see is Leia's comment.
Okay. Copy. Here. Delete. What? What am I doing? Hey. Sorry about that.
What's on it?
Okay. This is today.
It's on me chess.
Oh no,
Or
no,
chess,
it's chess.com.
okay, I mean I can pull it up from there too if it's easy. If
Yeah,
if it's not, I can just go to your profile and pull. Is it a recent game?
no, it's kind of a while back, but I know the guy's name.
Okay, but if you happen to have it, oh, I just came through. You just
Okay.
paste again, or maybe it was delayed.
It might have
Got
been
it.
just
Okay,
delayed. Yeah.
got it.
Okay.
All right, so all I gotta do is control all, copy it. Actually, that wouldn't work. So I got more than that. I'm gonna throw it out. I got the whole thing, and I'll simply go into resume share. I'll simply go into Lichess, go to tools. I'm not signed in actually, so I'll just go to I'll just go to analysis board, and then at the bottom, see FEM that's the original position. PGN, paste to import
Oh,
PGN.
that's easy. Look at
Yeah,
that.
that's it. And then there it is.
Cool.
But you can make a study with that as well. All right, so you have which side?
I'm black. I
Press
got
F.
my butt kicked.
F for flip. What's that?
I got my butt kicked.
Okay, let's see. So E4, C5. Speaking of the Sicilian, right? So this is the C3 Sicilian and the Alpin variation. Interesting. They're hoping for a quick build up. It's kind of like with E4, E5 lines, where they also go for C3 sometimes, but it's slow and they can get hit by D5, which is exactly what you did.
Bye.
See you, Todd. Thanks for coming out.
Yep, thanks.
Yeah. Oh, I think we looked at his game last time. Maybe it looked like yours and Todd's or something. Maybe John's too. So D5. Okay, that's good. You guys are volunteering your games. So yeah. So the other way to go is 9f6. I like D5 personally. E5, knight D5, D4, I think, and then so yeah, you can take, isn't it like take and then D6 or something? There's many lines. Yeah, white can gambit a pawn or something. No, it's not even a gambit. I think it doesn't have to be a gambit. And then yeah, it transposes, and I think they go D6. So that's just to show you that's the other line. That's about even, has a space advantage, but okay. In this line, so the idea is that they don't get to play knight C3.
Right, right.
You get quick development. So it's kind of like it's like sort of, I guess I could say, an improved Scandinavian. It's just a Scandinavian, but they've played C3, which is not in a regular Scandinavian would be great because maybe black's taking, black's gonna have a good initiative. But in this situation, they played C3, you've played C5, but that actually restrains, it makes it harder for them to play D4. They gotta take on an isolated pawn, So there's that. And usually what's gonna happen in these situations, you play against that. There is some line where the knight goes to B5 and tries to fork you. So I've played this a lot. You're familiar with it. Now, D3 is not really a thing. It's not really a thing. It's just, doesn't do anything. It's just, I mean, white can play this, but there's no initiative whatsoever. And you could even go try to get your E5 in and create a, you could play a reverse Maroczy bind if you want, but you don't even need to. You just develop naturally and you're fine. Computer says G6. I don't know about that. I mean, E5 is probably playable. Let's see what it says about that. It says it's even, but I think I would just play modestly and probably just develop, like bring out my knights, knight C6. Yeah, maybe I'd play knight C6. I might fianchetto the bishop to increase control over G4, make it hard for them to push, right? Restrain them. But that's the idea of E5. You probably, I mean, for me, I might go knight C6 here, and then probably I might go for E5. And then I don't know. It's very. This is the most aggressive option. Oh, funny enough, this has been played before. A 2500 beats a 2200. So they're just trying to press, and now it's been played twice. Interesting. And in both cases, though, so again, it could be a proxy for rating because we have a higher rated player beating the low rated player. So it may not be. But the computer says even. That makes sense. It's an equal position, but the stronger player won. But certainly it's fine. But you could just develop. And again, you can go G6, then Bishop G7, and yeah, now it's just black. And funny enough, then white won this one. But something like this, and black is very comfortable. So anyway, D3 is pretty passive, right? It doesn't do anything to you, so you can comfortably develop. Now, what should they have done? Just so you know, we're looking at openings. Yeah, knight f6 is the main move by far. If they take, I think you just take back. And that's not really a problem. Bishop E3, you probably tuck your queen on C7. There's not a problem at all. I've played this with the English sort of reversed action. You get E5, knight C6, very comfortable position. See, you could probably play E5 and then say go. They can bother you more, but like, I don't know. Would you go for E5 here?
I never play E5, which is funny because like when you're talking about the Svechnikov and stuff like that, I see it all the time, and for some reason I'm like I guess I must have gotten burned by it or something, but I
Yeah, you
rarely
have to be careful. I mean, it's a weakening move fundamentally. I mean, sort of, it does weaken D5, yeah. Just be careful. You should try and get it in if it's like for free,
Yeah,
that E5F.
definitely. That makes
You
sense.
can be aggressive with it. But another thing you could do, it actually, funny enough, actually recommended E6. I've seen situations like this where you keep it tight and you go like B6, Bishop B7. But where was the move? It was, knight C6 first. I suppose knight B5, just while we're on it. I think you just go queen B8. And then it says even. Oh, funny enough, you have like really strong players like Afromeyev. He got a draw. Joel Lautier or something. They got a draw. So you have two really strong players. Actually, Afromeyev lost to Klimov. So yeah, queen b8's fine. It looks weird, but just to show you the opening. But keep in mind, a lot of times you get your bishop out. Yeah, let's say they do this, reasonable enough. What do they actually do? What's the one where they lost? They lost to queen a4, and then Afromeyev, his opponent went knight d5, and then knight b6. I guess he castles queenside. He just takes and gets the bishop pair, gonna mess up the structure. And you have like bishop c5 too. Kicks the knight out. Oh, he's gonna go here. Yeah, it's just comfortable. And then king moved, and then he just kept it modest. And black has a nice bishop pair and better pawn structure. And you can castle. So anyway, just to give you a sense of how else it can go. Yeah, that's if they play g4. No, but the main thing, by the way, just to show you while we're here. Yeah, e6 again. I've played this before. There's some interesting lines here. Bishop g4 is super active too. You could do that. But this is where you're playing against the Isolani usually. Okay, let's keep it normal. Let's just do normal position. Where would it be? Okay, let's just say bishop. Yeah, bishop e3 is a popular move. Then you can take. Yeah, you can do. Oh wait, I think there's some line like this. Okay. And then you can play. There's like a b6 line, but yeah, pretty much just keep it natural. Yeah, there's a b6 line actually. I think this is the line where you take on c3 and you like bishop a6. I played this. Yeah,
I
lots
like
of
that idea. Yeah, that's like kind of like French too.
They can't go c4. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You get rid of that, but the idea is that they probably get c4, and but you have pressure immediately. So let's say 95 to play c4. What do they do here? Yeah, 95, and this scored pretty well. The queen actually can tuck back. Wait, the knight goes to b8.
What? Oh, to out him or something?
Is that the thing to do? I don't think you need to. I think I'd go rook a8. Is there queen a4? Yeah, that's fine though. You can go queen b. Then the idea is queen b7. It looks weird, right? But yeah, you do go knight b8, and then you just come back, and it's like you're just playing against the hanging pawns, something like this. And it's like an even game. But it's interesting because you do have clear play against the c pawn and stuff. And the bishop's not that great. So anyway, those are some ideas. But your opponent, so we don't get to look at that because your opponent played d3 and you should just have comfortable development. Yeah, this looks fine. Let's get rid of the computer analysis. So you go here. And now you can play e6 and have your bishop outside the pawn chain. So you basically took advantage of this. You're like, I'm just gonna have a super comfortable position, right?
Yep. Maybe that was unnecessary. I don't know.
It's okay. Yeah, you don't need it. I would just finish my development because you want to quickly put pressure.
Bishop
Imagine
D.
it. Sometimes if you have pressure on d3, they have to worry about like captures and win the d pawn or something.
Okay.
Potentially. I mean, then they take here or something. I don't know. But it's just like put pressure on the d pawn. They can, but see, if you really want to make it hard for them to push, imagine you had e5 in, and then they get this in. Let's say they're able to get it in. You can always go takes, and bypass attacking the knight, and you get something. You might get something out of that, and they still have the isolated d pawn. See that?
Yes, I'll make a
So,
note of
so
that. So
yeah,
good.
you can play for that. You can play for that kind of thing. Yeah, you don't need that move. So what would I recommend? Probably bishop, just bishop. Computer suggests bishop e7, and then and then bishop f5. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing, right? You can come back. But yeah, again, you want that pressure very quickly. I've done this before. I have a bad memory of castling queenside with black. With
Yeah,
the
no
C
way.
and my opponent was like a six. That's where I lost to like a 1600. But he was very happy because he crushed me nicely.
Ah,
But it was like a five. It was like a what? Like a 500 point upset.
ouch.
So
Yeah,
it was
that
nice. Yeah,
stinks.
it was nice. Yeah, I mean, got to give it to him. Attack.
It's good for him, bad for you, but
Yeah. It happened. It was in New York. What do you call it? Manhattan Open.
oh, really?
I think it's called Manhattan Open or New York. It's called Manhattan Open. Hotel Pennsylvania, Manhattan Open. I've
Oh,
also played in. I think I played in New York State Championship maybe twice, at least once. That's up in Albany. You don't have to be a New York resident to do it.
I think
Okay,
it's
you go
coming
to
up, isn't it? Isn't that one coming
yeah,
up?
I think it's Labor Day weekend or something.
Oh, it already happened.
May have happened if I recall. Check it out. I don't know. Yes, I think you made some unnecessary. I think what happened here is you made some unnecessary moves. Now you
Yeah.
got to worry. Now they have the attack on d6, and it's not that great for them because they didn't really do anything. But now you have to just kind of acquiesce
Yeah.
rather than
Dilly
press.
dallied.
So was that?
I dilly dallied with that h6 move, and I think that hurt me.
Yeah, this is not that big of a deal. But then this is weakening. That's not that big of a deal. But yeah, again, just develop, keep it simple. You know that. Like what would a beginner do? If they learn their basic principles, they would just castle, right?
Yep.
So keep it simple there. Simple chess. Sometimes we overthink it. Right? No, I don't know. It's interesting. Oh wait, now apparently it's bad. Oh wait, I have the computer eval on. So at least I know they have something good. But what is it that's good? Bishop f4. See, bishop f4 is not immediately apparent to me why it's so good. Because it seems like, oh, they have 93. That's why. Your queen will get in trouble.
Yeah.
Retreating the knight. And they got everything almost, I don't know, almost covered. Maybe with h3, they'd like to take back with the bishop and cover or something. For example, let's take a look at the line real quick. It's giving this. Queen runs. I don't know, it's a computer line again. Bishop takes back. It's just a computer line. Very much a computer line. Rook a7, very much a computer line.
Yeah. I've
Rook
seen it before too, that weird rook a7 to like control like the whole 7th rank.
Oh yeah, that's actually pretty cool. No, that's done by some really strong players too. But here is purely defensive. It looks like
Yeah.
I retreat your bishop voluntarily. Yeah, and then go here. It's just an absurd position. Bizarre. Oh, so you trade this, but you lose the pawn now.
Yeah.
I just end game with the pawn now. So pretty much the main lessons are already learned now. If they play smoothly, they should be doing very well. Well, they have 4, even though it's a double pawn.
Yeah, like I feel like what the heck happened? Like, yeah, like went downhill so fast. Like, so just simply that the two side pawn moves were, the first one wasn't terrible, but the a6 I shouldn't have worried about. I mean the a6 I shouldn't have worried about him. I think I was nervous about his knight going down to b5, but I guess that's not really an issue.
Oh, okay.
I think that was the whole point.
Make you retreat. Well, yeah, it would make you retreat, I guess. You could probably play rook c8 or queen. You could probably go rook c8 or queen d7. Yeah, I just have to retreat, I guess. And then, yeah, then they're gonna have to retreat them. They're gonna try to make, then you might go A6, B5 if they go back here.
Yeah,
I would just go back. Yeah, don't trade. Sure, let's get this in.
okay.
They have to go back now. That's great.
Yeah,
And
then
then we
I'm
have that,
really happy.
probably have the
Mhm.
Isolani again. Then it's good for you to play against that. Oh, you could double the pawns. Trade. Oh, what's that, Nikki?
Yeah, no, I would love this for sure. Yeah, it was just like two little like weakening moves and then it was just like bam over. And I was just like I just didn't even know what happened. Like I just couldn't figure out like how
Yeah,
it got
yeah,
so bad so fast.
kind of hoodwinked or whatever.
Yeah,
To use that term.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
is it from that from some elections or something. Okay, so 97.
Yeah, that's
No,
the
that was shellacking. That was the one. That was shellacking.
oh,
Hoodwink,
shellacking,
I
yeah.
think it's something else that Obama used or something. Hoodwink. So H3, B5 takes. Yeah, each one has very specific vocabulary, such as Trump with tremendous. I think that got
Yeah,
that got very overplayed. The word tremendous.
yeah, tremendous.
Tremendous and huge. Huge.
Huge.
Bigly. Yeah, yeah, I haven't heard those words for a while. We definitely got overplayed. Okay,
Or
97 H.
hugely.
What's that?
Hugely with the ly at the end.
Yeah, some people were like, "Does that mean big league? Is it big like?"
Oh,
What?
bigly, that was it, bigly.
Yeah, no. Some people thought I was like, "Are you saying big league? Like, what are you trying to say?" I very, yeah, I definitely limited vocabulary for the American public to digest.
Mhm.
So knight take a certain type of vocabulary. The knight takes e5, rook d2,
Yeah, it's just a
e7.
dead loss now. It's just crazy to me. It's just like, ah, okay, got the bishop pair. My punts are awful. And yeah, it's like 0.5, like 5.5. I was like, how did what? Okay. All right. I know he was much higher rated. I just wanted to take a look, but okay.
I mean, you're just down. You're just down a pawn, but
The position's a disaster.
oh, wait, is it 2 pawns now?
I think so, yeah. Wait, one, two,
No, it's only
three,
a pawn.
four,
It's only a
five.
pawn.
One, two, three, 4,
Seven to 6.
5, 6, 7. No, it took
Yeah, I
wait.
mean, you could fight on. You could definitely fight on.
Oh,
Um,
I
but
did.
it's just like uncomfortable. It's hard to do anything. Yeah, so really it comes out of the opening. But the thing is, they played this passive d3. Interestingly enough, what they're doing is a reversed old Indian. It's like a reversed old Indian. So just to get or Philidor kind of. You know what?
Uh,
Would that be more of a Philidor? Not necessarily because e5 hasn't been played, but it's kind of like an old. So let me give you an example real quick. So for example, would be d4, knight f6, c4. Let's say like d6, knight f3, knight bd7 to get e5 in is the old Indian. It's the old Indian defense.
mhm.
And I think there's been a trade. Now e4 is not played. What was the line here? Where did the pawn end up? On like something like this. And I think there ended up being a trade. Did it end up being like, yeah, it ended up being like this. And let's say white doesn't take, and then c6. See, it's the same thing, basically. Like that. See?
Yes.
Same thing. These 2 pawns, c4, your c5 pawns there. You had these 2 pawns. Yep, just like that. And again, that's the option where white would have e4, just like black would have e4. See? So it's the same thing. So essentially what you're doing, what your opponent's doing is an old Indian reversed. So it's because it's as if you had played d5 and c5, like a queen's
Yeah.
like a d5, like a d4 opening against an Indian defense. But it's the old Indian because the king goes to e2 rather. So it's actually an old Indian reverse. That's funny. But the only difference is if it's a king's Indian, there would have been certain, and actually this happens in a king's Indian sometimes, where let's say this were black and white could do in a king's Indian attack, and then the knight would go to, maybe here, and these pawns would be like this. Maybe keep the knight out, flexibility, maybe they go like this even. Like, oh, that's what happened in our game somehow when we did that King's Indian.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you did that. It's just different move order. Reverse. But you can see that the point is there's similar pawn structures. Become more familiar with pawn structure.
I sure wish I
Um,
did e5.
yeah, you can try that next time. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see if the computer approves. But yeah, it's saying knight c6. Let's see. You can certainly go. Oh, see, I looked at it for a second, and I think you can get away with it for sure. See, it says even. You can
Yeah,
definitely
I
get away
like it.
with it. And then maybe just develop, for example. Oh, it's
Yeah.
been played before. Did we open this game? No, I don't think we did. Look what happened. This is a
Wow.
game back from 2014. So let's see how black is able to kind of establish. Now, that's kind of what your opponent did. They had 2 bishops, very comfortable.
Mhm.
Get that rook on d8, very natural play, and black is just better a little bit. I mean, there's always going to be a little pressure here, but it's like, again, it's like you're playing as an old Indian. Now, if this were a King's Indian attack, there'd be a little more pressure. There's really not that much pressure for white. And you can see you're pressing here, and they don't get to play. Well, let's say, no, they can't do it. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 covering. If they push, they only have 3 covering. So they have the A3, B4 thing, right? Oh, that's nice. Wait, what?
Really nice.
It stops B4. That's just a nice endgame. Well, I don't know if you'd voluntarily do that. That's annoying. So yeah, that's better. I like that better. Say, okay, fine, queen A4, just give a sample. Okay, but something like this, black is very comfortable. What do you do though? It's kind of like you squeeze. Oh, then I could come to D5 to F4 stuff. Let's just say, let's just look at the computer line just to get a sense. I mean, something.
Yeah.
I would. Oh, that's hanging. Wait, what? I don't even know why would it do that. What do you do though? It's very limited. Okay, let's say go here. Probably knight D5 is coming. And just beautiful centralization. And like I said, remember I mentioned E5 and F5.
Yeah, yeah.
You get that on Maroczy bind situations a lot. You finally get that going.
Didn't you say something like, like G6, E6, and then like F5 is not so good, right? Like not in this position exactly, but like in general terms, like if you play E6, like G6 or something, or F5 is,
I'm actually trying to do that myself. I got the last time I tried that in the tournament game, I got messed up. The time before that, I had a big attack. I sacked a piece, ended up being a draw. Kind of had to save it,
okay.
but it's well. I'll just show you it just again since you mentioned it.
Yeah, because I kind of remember something about like that being like too weakening or something. I don't know, not with your bishop there, maybe
Generally
not.
speaking, but like I'll show you. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Let's say we're playing it as a hippo. I think that's what you're talking about, where you play F5 from this position, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll actually voluntarily try. I enjoy trying to do this sometimes. So we have a hippo, right?
Uh-huh.
Now they want to come in. Okay. I wonder though. Maybe you can. Oops. Where do we go? We have this code thing open. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Here. I wonder if you can play it. No, normally what you'd want to do is you want to stop knight G5. Here's what I would do. Like, let's just say, I don't know, they're going to go D2, like, it's fine. Let's just say they do something random like A4, H6, A5 or something. I don't know. I'm trying to give them a move. Let's give them another move. Okay. Oh, let's say they move their C pawn or something like that. So we give them another.
Well, when they do that E2 thing, the queen, like when they line the queen and the bishop up to trade the dark square bishop, like, are you supposed to ignore that? I never know.
I mean, what I'm trying to do is play H6 because I don't want that. Plus, I
Yeah.
don't want knight G5 either. You can ignore it sometimes, but I'd rather not give it to them.
Yeah.
Nakamura, funny enough, Nakamura does this. He's look. I bet you will see Nakamura game here. See, there you go. He likes to do this sometimes, probably in bullet games. He won 3 of his games, so now Drake. It's actually interesting. It's an interesting way to play. It's like a French modified. Okay, anyway, what I was getting at is bishop E3. Let's say we get like a hippo kind of thing, right? I've done this before quite a bit, actually, especially it could be effective. So I'm giving them 1 extra move so we can get there in time. Okay, so we'll give them, well, let's say rook C1. So we have time. I really need to give them a lot of time to get H6 in. Okay, let's just say whatever. Let's just say we get this in. Okay. Now, well, first of all, if they play here, it's like a King's Indian. Not such a big deal. But the idea is like, okay, let's say rook E1. You can play F5 pretty quickly. There you go. F5 is was favored. There you go. That's I'm trying to give you like a general position. Also, yeah, you can play like G5, like Black Lion kind of thing. Simon Williams talked about like up and get G5. That's really out of Philidor. But it's G5. Have you heard about the Black Lion?
I heard of it, but I haven't seen his like that's a Simon Williams thing.
Yeah, like he talked about like G5, for example, just to give you a sense, like random moves. And then, but that would be like inclusion of E5, for example. Like let's say I have this position, something like this, right? And random move order, just to say, and then you have like that's pretty strong, right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty interesting attack. I mean, it's hard to progress with it, but there's this idea, plus there's the F5 idea. Now, if you're to play, that doesn't get F5 in. But for example, well, definitely if you play E5, now we're in King's Indian territory where it's expected.
Right.
Again, I'm just giving them random moves just to show you. Obviously, that's not a good rook move, but where it's expected to play F5. And you should take back with the G pawn to get this. You're threatening the fork and stuff. You should get your mobility, move your king or whatever. But anyways, it might be a little early, but just to show you a sense, give you a sense. So let's say they go here. We have our F5. Remember, it was contemplating we were here, right? Between G5, F5. So let's say F5. Now I might even contemplate taking with the G pawn. I think I would take with the knight though, to keep it safe. And then I can easily cover E6. You have to be a little careful, but like, let's say the bishop moves. All you gotta do is probably rook E8. Oh, what's this? Oh, they walk into the line. Oh, that's nice. I didn't look at that. That's nice. They should get in trouble in here. Oh, there's that too. That's nasty.
Oh goodness, yeah, there's a
There's
lot.
that too. Yeah, there's that too. So the second you take on F5, well, look at that. It opens up. There's a lot of things. And sometimes if the queen's on D2, I'll do that as well. Oh, that's when I'll really do it. If the queen's
Yeah,
on
everything
D2,
opens
play
up.
F5. So just keep in mind, if you play a hippo, then do it.
Okay.
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 But the hippo is great for blitz games, like bullet games. You know, it's very good for, because it's very predictable. You just go boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, pre-move almost, you know, double
Oh, it's
fianchetto.
so annoying to play against too. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's very annoying. Imagine you have white here and your opponent just pops in the knight move. It's like, what is going on right
And
now?
you're like, which pawn do I push? Like, I never know. Like, I'm always like pushing the wrong pawn. It's just super annoying.
Yeah,
Like,
it's interesting because it looks bad. It's like, it should be bad. Look at the e-pawn. So what? I mean, they can often be like, queen is here, rook is here. Or maybe look at this pawn. That's even weaker, really. Maybe, I don't know about that. Looks awkward, but I would try and go queen f6. So I mean, you know, like again, this is a completely random position I set up, but it shows you where the computer, we have the computer seal of approval on f5, and it says why it's slightly better, which is a good thing it's a good thing if we can get that out of the zone. Now it's if they find all the moves like d5.
Right, of course. And
But this, I don't mind this position, but keep in mind, interestingly, again, morphing pawn structures, keep in mind that this is a situation where you have e5, and it's like it's de facto the same thing as taking with a knight, which is, we don't want that. We want to take with the pawn. Because someone talks about this in knight d4 ideas. Do this. Okay, let's say this, for example, and you can go like this. And this is pretty nice structurally for white. Because you can't chase the knight away, get f3 if you need to. Solidify lights. Where's black's play? Probably I would try and play knight to f4. Where you get the knight to f4. We'd have to go like rook f7, knight f8.
Oh my goodness,
Rook
yeah.
f7, knight f8, g5, knight g6, knight f4. So we actually get the filter thing. Yeah, and try to morph in there. But knight c5, sure, that's reasonable. Knight c5, don't let b4. They go a3, probably a4. And they can't go b4, take off the saw, plus you have this idea. Anyway, but a lot of stuff going on. Point is, you can't, yes, you can play f5. Now, let me give you, oh, hold on, let me give you another example.
Okay.
Say the queen, oh, this actually happened. Let's say the queen goes to d2, and I would probably go king h7. And then we're going for f5. So for example, let's say a waiting move. And there you go again, f5. Because if they take, you probably can insert this move. Oh, they take e6. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they could take e6. Oh, they take there with check. Never mind. Sometimes that can actually work where, you know, you let them take where you get, like, you destroy their structure or something. Or like we saw earlier, you remember this. So there's a lot of play here. And sometimes what happens, and also which I like, is they'll go h4. They're thinking they go h5, so they go h4. They go, nope, not f6. Stop that. And then suddenly your knight ends up like putting pressure here, and it maybe comes like to g4 or here to here or something. So suddenly they miss the knight f6 move. So oh, your knights are staying there. They're coming here. No, it can go to f6. Anyway, a lot of cool themes. But even here, it says plus 0.9, but I don't mind playing. Oh wait, that's almost the same thing. Let's say they do something random. Oh, then we're
you got
huge.
Yeah.
If they don't get d5, then they have to go d5 in those lines. Anyway, you get the idea. So the answer is yes, you can play that, but it's like you have to have the right scenario to play f5, and it's risky.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It says it's a French. That's so funny.
The French what?
It's like on the thing, it says it's a French normal variation.
Wait. How did that happen?
I don't know. Maybe it's like a bunch of random different moves that were played. But I didn't see any c5. Oh, c5 was like way before or something.
Oh, I played e6.
Oh, e6. Oh, yeah.
And then I never played d5, of course. But
oh, right.
Yeah. Well, nice job, guys. Good.
Oh, yeah.
Game
Thank you.
analysis.
Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for taking the time to look at everybody's games and always. So
oh yeah, of course.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Never look at it. All right, guys. And that's what Todd said he had to run. Okay, I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Bye, John.
Same here.
See you later,
Bye,
guys.
David.
Guys,
Bye.
take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.